Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is INC500 and today I will be presenting an industrial election case titled 7-Eleven Malaysia Sdn Bhd vs Ashwin Harikrishnan. This case discusses constructive dementia, the proper legal process for employment disputes, and whether filing a civil suit can be considered an abuse of the court process. Let me walk you to the fact, issues, judgment, analysis, supporting case and criticism of the case. First slide is fact of the case. The plaintiff is Ashwin Harikrishnan, who worked as a senior manager of human resource at 7-Eleven Malaysia. She claimed that her superior Liu Kim Min bullied and harassed her after she received a poor performance review. Because of the workplace pressure, she resigned. She argued that her resignation was actually a constructive dementia, meaning she felt forced to leave due to the hostile environment. After resigning, she filed a civil suit in the High Court and demanded 19.6 million ringgit in damage for constructive dementia, harassment, and emotional distress. However, 7-Eleven argued that this was the wrong legal procedure because dementia dispute must be brought under Section 20 of the Industrial Relations Act 1967, not civil court. Next slide is issues of the case. The court identified three main issues. Firstly, the civil court heard a constructive dementia claim. Second, filing a civil suit and abuse of court process when a statutory mechanism already exists under the Industrial Relations Act. Third, the plaintiff claim should be stored out under Order 18, Rule 19 of the Rules of Court 2012. Next slide is judgment of the case. The Court of Appeal ruled in favor of 7-Eleven. The court held that constructive dementia falls under industrial law, not common law. Therefore, employers must follow the statutory disputes resolution process under the Industrial Relations Act 1967. Filing a civil claim instead of going through the industrial court is viewed as an abuse of process. The court also noted that the plaintiff had already received her salary in lieu of notice, which means she had no further legal entitlement. Next slide is analysis of the case. Several important points can be analysed from the decision. Firstly, Parliament has created a statutory process, which is Industrial Relations Act 1967, that is the correct and only route for employees to challenge dementia. Secondly, the industrial court is specialist tribunal because it understands workplace issues better than civil court and can make decisions more quickly. Thirdly, allowing civil suit for constructive dementia is an abuse of process because it would undermine the entire statutory process. Lastly, the civil court's power employment dispute is limited. Civil courts cannot award large damage or emotional distress claims. To support their analysis, the court also referred to important case law. Fung Kiong Rubber Manufacturing vs. Lee In-Kiat. This case established that emotional distress is not a valid tort in employment disputes. This supports the court decision that the plaintiff cannot claim millions through civil court for emotional harm. Wang Chi Hong vs. Cartai Organization. The federal court in this case defined constructive dementia as a fundamental breach by the employer that forced an employee to resign. This definition formed the foundation of construction dementia claim in Malaysia. Lastly, the Sambos Sdn Bhd vs. Kan Soon Huat. This case clarified that the industrial court is the proper tribunal for handling dementia dispute. It reinforced that dementia case should not be brought to the civil court. And the last slide is critics of the case. Despite the legal correctness of the judgment, it has faced several criticisms. First, employees have limited remedies. The industrial court cannot award damage for emotional distress, harassment, or psychological trauma. Second, this decision makes common law's right weakens because employees cannot seek further remedies under civil law. Third, it may unintentionally protect employees because employees cannot pursue high-value claims for toxic workplace. Here are the references I used for this presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.